Welcome to Electrified. It's your host, Dylan Loomis. So, first up, we have multiple accounts saying that there's a Model Y in California with a TCP license number. They're going on to say these TCP marked test vehicles confirm approval for paid robotaxi operations in California. So if you've seen any of these posts where they're saying Tesla's Robotaxi gets the green light for paid service in California, we need to fact check this. In case you missed it, yes, the CPUC earlier this year did approve Tesla's application for a Transportation Charter Party Carrier Permit, TCP. This license is typically associated with chauffeur-operated services. However, they said that permit does not authorize them to provide rides in autonomous vehicles and does not allow Tesla to operate a ride-hailing service to the public. Now, yes, it's true that TCP permits are oftentimes associated with paid services like shuttles or limousines. These TCP permits also cover testing phases for autonomous vehicles, including unpaid rides. So it could absolutely be the case that Tesla's employee testing program they've been running now for months is actually using these TCP marked vehicles. So in short, Tesla's use of these TCP marked vehicles in California for supervised employee transport during their robotaxi testing does not have to involve payment. So in short, Tesla using these TCP marked Model Ys in California does not have to mean there is payment involved. At this stage, these are likely just vehicles offering those free rides for employees. So the CPUC framework allows these TCP vehicles to offer both paid and unpaid rides. Translation, just because a Model Y has TCP on it does not have to mean it's a paid ride. So the answer is no, this does not confirm approval for paid robotaxi rides for Tesla in California. At least not yet, and not because of this by itself. We talk about the safety of Tesla's autopilot on the channel, but not nearly enough do we talk about this. Zach shared he almost got into a big accident caused by a drunk driver. If it wasn't for the Tesla Instant Torque, my car would be totaled right now. He floored it and swerved to get out of the way and missed by mere inches. Sure, it's a blast to zip around town and to launch with your friends and all of that, but it also comes in handy in situations like this if you need to get out of the way at a moment's notice.
We do a lot of business with Tesla and xAI. Elon's, as you know, is just an extraordinary engineer, and I love working with him. We've built some amazing computers together. We're going to build many more computers together, and the work that he's doing in Grok, his self-driving car, his Optimus. These are all, every single one of them world-class. Every single one of them revolutionary. Every single one of them are going to be gigantic opportunities. And we're delighted. I'm delighted to be working with him on that. And so I think the Optimus opportunity is just right around the corner. It's very likely that human robots are going to be robots that we can deploy into the world relatively easily. And this is the first robot that really has a chance to achieve the high volume and technology scale necessary to advance technology. And so I think this is likely to be the next multi-trillion-dollar industry. I'm very excited for him.
What more is there to say, really? If you don't trust Elon and his predictions or timelines, then take it from Jensen. I could sit here and reiterate these points and say it differently, but it's likely more impactful to just rewind and listen to what he said again. If comments like that from him don't get you excited about Tesla's future in the next 3 to 5 years, then honestly, I'm not sure what would. Before we continue on with the Jekyll side of this Tesla news update, let's get through the Hyde portion. The official Tesla Energy account is now publicly lobbying, saying abruptly ending the energy tax credits would threaten America's energy independence and the reliability of our grid. We urge the Senate to enact legislation with a sensible wind down of 25D and 48E. This will ensure continued speedy deployment of over 60 gigawatt capacity per year to support AI and domestic manufacturing growth. The easiest way to think about 25D is the Residential Clean Energy energy credit, so think that 30% credit for solar and Powerwall cost, and 48E is on the commercial side for the clean electricity investment credit. This one covers the incentive for utility scale projects like solar, wind, and energy storage. To make matters worse, Elon said there is no change to tax incentives for oil and gas, just EV and solar. I shared this on X, but I want to say it here for those of you that aren't on X. After everything Elon did for Trump and all of the education shared about solar and battery storage obviously being the best path forward, it's quite infuriating that this is happening. As we've said for years, at the very least, level the playing field so all fuel sources can compete and let the best, most economical technology win. But that's not what we're getting with this situation. I said I'll never understand how certain politicians can be so stupid to cut funding for the new, renewable, clean, efficient tech while continuing to spend hundreds of billions on the outdated, inefficient, and dirty fuel sources, which we know are fossil fuels. These politicians rant about how we want to lead the world with AI, yet at the same time, they're going to handicap the very sources that we need to accelerate and drive the future of AI growth, solar and batteries for AI data centers. It's also a mess on the residential side because everybody should be moving toward micro virtual power plants and decoupling from the grid to reduce the strain on the overall system and to stay safe during outages, which again is done through solar and battery storage. And yeah, I get it, Elon didn't do what he did in politics for special favors, but in case you haven't noticed, that's clearly how 90% plus of our current government operates. Even if Elon wasn't involved in politics, the right policy is to either support clean energy and cut the funding for the outdated one, or even better, just level the playing field altogether. If you're taking them away for EV, solar, and batteries, then take them away for oil and gas too. The only reason that's not happening is the special favor game that's played in politics. Over the past 30 years, over 80% of oil and gas donations went to Republican candidates. So yes, obviously I'm frustrated with this one, not just because I think the policy's backwards, but because we get all of this momentum built, and then a new administration comes in and basically cuts it all down. And the only reason, because these big oil and gas donors are telling them to. So it's like, no wonder Elon got fed up and frustrated with what he saw in the government, and now he's walking away. He did say, as my scheduled time as a special government employee comes to an end, I'd like to thank President Trump for the opportunity to reduce wasteful spending. The Doge mission will only strengthen over time as it becomes a way of life throughout the government. Now, in weeks past, Elon had hinted that he would still be spending time on Doge even when he was more focused back at Tesla. But after this post, I do understand why some people are thinking that Elon may be mostly done with his Doge efforts. Now, sure, will Elon take a phone call or the occasional meeting just to check in, see how things are going? Absolutely, I'm sure of it. But from my perspective, it's sounding more and more like Elon has had enough and he's ready to go back to focusing on his companies. So, strictly from the perspective of a Tesla shareholder, that's probably worth cracking open some Tesla tequila if you have it. This news just came out, yet another data breach affecting hundreds of thousands of people. This stolen data varies but includes names, birthdays, phone numbers, email addresses, social security numbers, and driver's license numbers. The company that was breached? LexisNexis, a data broker. So I really hope by now you all can see the value of a service like Delete Me. Yes, they sponsor the channel, but this one is such a no-brainer in 2025 in my opinion. Delete Me is an American company. They do only this one thing, and they've done it for over a decade. They remove your personal information from the thousands of data brokers online. It's incredibly affordable, and they have saved me hundreds of hours and headaches as they reach out to each data broker to remove your information, and they continually follow up, making sure your data stays removed. In a world where phishing emails, scam calls, identity theft, and fraud is increasing with every year, Delete Me should be essential for anybody that does anything online. They have great service if you ever have questions, and you get reports every quarter showing you the status of your removals at every data broker. So if you want to protect you and your family, checking out sponsors really is one of the best ways to support the channel. So if you're interested, you can head to joindeleteme.com/electrified to get 20% off using my code electrified linked below or by using the QR code on the screen. And before we move on from the energy and the credits and the grid situation, Drew Baglino did say that Heron Power, his new venture, just closed a $38 million round. Heron Power's first product, the Heron Link, replaces legacy transformers and power converters by directly connecting rapidly growing megawatt-scale solar, batteries, and AI data centers to medium voltage transmission. Our customers benefit from higher power density and efficiency, greater reliability, lower costs, domestic manufacturing, and reduced project timelines. The timing of this announcement from Drew could not have come at a better time to drive this point home, which is our government handicapping the very industry we need to rely on to lead the world in AI is ultimately a terrible decision. Again, it's really not that complicated. Just level the playing field. But here we are. And look at that. JB Straubel and Zach Kirkhorn are investors of this Series A. So the gang is getting back together, and 10 years from now, there will be some awesome efficiencies and savings thanks to ventures like Redwood and Heron that Tesla will directly be benefiting from. This is the clean, efficient future that I want. So despite our government's incompetence, I do believe this future is going to happen, maybe just a bit slower than it could have. But that's enough venting from my Hyde side, so let's get back to the Jekyll version. Elon said for the past several days, Tesla has been testing self-driving Model Y cars, no one in the driver's seat, on Austin public streets with no incidents, a month ahead of schedule. He said next month, first self-delivery from factory to customer. The post was made on May 29th, so next month would mean June. So not only do we have the Robotaxi launch set for June 12th, now we have the first delivery direct from factory to customer, and hopefully Tesla gets a bunch of really cool footage of this event. Of course, these first few deliveries will be short travels. They're not going to require supercharger stops, but just envision a future of wireless charging cars that can go anywhere with a federal framework in place. Tesla could theoretically remove the roughly $1,500 destination fee on each vehicle delivery, and that's in addition to reducing its own logistics costs. Maybe the customer could send their vehicle straight to a shop if they wanted it wrapped or protected before sending it to their house. As we've said, this should make for awesome headlines and will drive the point home that Tesla's autonomous future is here. But practically speaking, it's going to unlock very meaningful cost savings in the long run too. And interestingly, Owen said, if I fly into Austin at the end of June, would I or anyone be able to test out the network, or is it going to be invite only at first? To that, Elon said, sure. And yes, I know this is a bit confusing because previously Elon did hint that this was going to be an invite-only program at the beginning. But now with this response, it's leading me to believe that that might be a very short window. We're talking just a few days. And yes, I guess there's a world where Elon was just inviting Owen and he would technically still be invite-only. But the way I'm interpreting this is that anybody that travels to Austin toward the end of June would be able to test out the network. Now, am I confident enough to book a flight and bank on that right now? Probably not, but hopefully we get more clarity in the weeks ahead. Vanguard just said that it's going to roughly triple to 10 million the number of investors that are eligible to direct proxy vote in their funds. Vanguard said it added 4 equity index funds to its investor choice program, they call it, bringing it to nearly $1 trillion in eligible assets from about 250 million before. So if you happen to own any Tesla stock through one of these now eligible funds at Vanguard, you should now have the ability to vote your shares. Where before, basically Vanguard's team would just vote proxies on behalf of these funds. That's just kind of standard practice for the industry. But I'll have this link below because right here under how to participate, there's a link you can click on. And in case you were wondering, Alexandra put this chart together going over which companies and funds voted for and against Elon's pay package. This vehicle was spotted doing some testing at Fremont. It looks like a Model Y could be the performance, but certain angles make it look a bit more compact. However, that could just be the perspective. So is it a more affordable model? I'm not really sure. I'll let you make of it what you will. Toyota said production of 2 American-made all-electric models is slated to begin next year, joining 3 new imported EVs Toyota aims to have in U.S. showrooms in the coming months, in addition to 2 currently available. So by mid-2027, they're planning a total of 7 EVs in U.S. dealerships. They did say, though, BEVs right now are not incremental volume for us, they're cannibalizing our volume. But in the future, we think it's a really important segment that we don't want to give up to the competition. In addition to the BZ4X, which will soon be renamed to the BZ, and the Lexus RZ that it sells now, Toyota will add 3 more import EV models next year: the BZ Woodland, the CHR crossover, and a version of the Lexus ES sedan. Tesla is now offering a $3,000 trade-in bonus available on the Model 3 in Australia that ends June 30th this year. SpaceX finally shared that Making Life Multi-Planetary video that we thought was coming Tuesday night, and in it, Elon said he wants Optimus to be on the first Starship flights to Mars when they arrive in 2027. He said that would be an epic picture to see Optimus walking on the surface of Mars. Definitely can't disagree with that. All I really have to say looking at these pictures, what a time to be alive. I know there's a lot of evil in this world, but there's also a lot of really cool, exciting things happening right now too. Tesla stock closed the day at $358.43, up 0.43%, while the NDX was up 0.21%. The volume was 18% below the average. Don't forget, check out Delete Me linked below for those interested. As always, thank you guys for supporting the channel in that way. Hope you have a wonderful day. Please like the video if you did. You can find me on X linked below, and a huge thank you to all of my Patreon supporters.